Finishing up my morning. Staring at that, breathing in that, sipping this, which is not plain fucking water, because why would I drink plain fucking water? It doesn't taste good. It doesn't nourish or hydrate. So if something wasn't nourishing, and that's not even a word I use, is hydration. I would never even think to doing anything from a hydration standpoint. I just consume foods that taste fucking amazing. Everything else gets taken care of. But even in the absence of nutrition, it better damn well taste good. It doesn't even taste good. So why would I drink it? Okay, not the point of the video. Sounds familiar. I woke up to two points. Two people sent me things and they were eating at me, and I want to address because there's millions observing this and these messages just aren't serving anybody. One was like, we're so comfortable now and we're devolving because we're comfortable, okay? And comfort is lack and all this shit. But the solution to excessive comfort is a class, a training class involving iron things, or a training class led by some militant style boot camp, former SEAL, this, that, and anger and push and grind and, okay? There is a lot of truth in there. And that's why there's a lot of people saying things that are truthful, but what they're doing isn't serving the human being because it's not true in the human. There are certain facets of it, but then they lose it. So I fully agree with this, like, comfort and convenience. You've heard me say this. Every time you choose a convenience, you devolve. Some woman said, you're using an Instapot, aren't you devolving? And I've said, I have conveniences that I've used in my life. I drive a car. I use remote controls. I like my bed. Hot water. There's a stove. I just used a washing machine the other day. Like, yeah, I absolutely enjoy using these things, these conveniences. But for every time I choose those, I am like, okay, I need to do something to offset that because I just devolved literally by using those. Even utensils in a manner. That's where my training comes into play, and that's what's reverberating in my head. I have to hold myself to a standard so that my training exceeds what my life is. And if I choose a convenience of life, I have to undo what that convenience did to my body, which is pull it down. And if it's comfortable and easy, we devolve within that. So there is truth in this, but I want to say why it's perverted, and we'll get into this. So when somebody's viewing this video that they're seeing where this militant expert and this New York Times bestseller driven and these quotes from this marathon running, okay, when you see that, or there's a class and you're all grinding it out, you all look the same and you all like gang up the same way, you all eat the same, and that's all you talk about is your training and your eating and your calories and your macros and your heart rates and your Jesus Christ. People view that, humans view that, and they're like, well, that seems really intense. That version seems really intense. I don't think I could sustain that. Or I don't think I could do that class because I don't know what those movements are. And I don't know what that piece of equipment is. And I can't even afford that piece of equipment or that class. I don't even know where that class is. And the certified instructors, I don't even know where they are. And how do you know? Because there's so many certifications. What if I get into something and I get injured? Then what? Then I'm going to go to the PT that's going to leave me high and dry, because passive treatments like physical therapy, acupuncture, chiropractic, all the other things of the medicines that people are claiming for soft tissue injury to make you feel better, make you worse, because they get in the way of your healing responses by subduing them. Okay, we've already discussed that at length. So now we have the views of these things. Or if you're not running marathons as a protest to comfort, that somehow you're not worthy or able, and it's unbelievable where the people that I know that are running marathons, or who have, as a measure of some fucking goal in their life, they weren't doing well years after that. It gave them some peak to hike up with a group of friends maybe, or some goal, and that's fine, but you have to train to exceed whatever the marathon would be, and then you have to train to undo what the marathon caused from you and damaged with inside you. This is that environment But nobody does that. They achieve some floppy goal by running a marathon at just above walking pace, put their medal on the wall, and then they're just this dilapidated, arthritic, fat mess later on, and they have no solution. What's the next marathon? Well, I can't do that again. So what's the next goal? I need that goal, I need that goal, I need that goal. Where life is the goal. Your life is the marathon. Okay. But when we see that, it's, I can't attain that. That's not within my power. So now I got to outsource to a certified trainer, to some military type style boot camp kettlebell type class. Not saying kettlebells are bad. They are a tool that you can use to facilitate a stimulus and an input, but absolutely not necessary. And it leaves people hopeless. Or they try it, they go in after being comfortable in the majority of their last 20, 30, 10, 50 years, and then they can't keep up, and again, they get injured, and then they get fed into the medical system of chiropractic and all the other bullshit that's out there that has names to make you feel better from a soft tissue injury standpoint, put you in a position to be better. Your body's all healing and all knowing and regenerative except for the spine, or except for your auras, or except for your chakras. Doesn't hold. So now we go to the other end of the spectrum, where we've got people with millions of followers getting this message out there, that your genetics, you have a genetic label, you're not alone, sister, or the genetic label that you've got, and then when you turn 50 or 60, you're gonna have all this pain, and you're not alone, sister. And motherfucker, millions being like, oh, thank God I'm not alone, like this feels so, I needed this hope, not that you can do better or heal or level up, but hope that I just justified my own label and my own level and my own acceptance of irresponsibility and unaccountability. But again, just shut up about it. If you're gonna go that route and take that label and feel the way you do, that's cool. Just shut up. Stop talking to people about it. If you're truly at peace with it, you wouldn't need a big group of millions of followers to talk and comments and captions and all this shit to feel better. You would just go live. But you're not. You feel the need to comment. You feel the need to join these people and follow these people. So it's this whole thing of you're at the mercy of your genetics, which doesn't make any sense. And you decline as you age. And you're just supposed to sit with your label and sit in pain and digest food the best you can and just be as happy as you can be. I mean, on the way out, because death is inevitable, and death is this fearful end that we all have, and you have to try to prevent it at all costs when we all get there. But we have these two ends there. Now everyone will look at that, and again, there's a lot of truths in there. Yeah, you're not alone, because we're all healing. We all technically have all these labels. We all have these healing responses. We all, as we experience this light path moving forward called time and age, that we have the opportunity to decline or increase or climb. So there are truths with either side, with both sides. And there are people that are like, oh my God, this is me, or oh my God, this is me. And then when neither of those work, because they won't, they're based on talking truth, but they're not. That's not how your body works. It doesn't work that way. Now, when that doesn't work, and that doesn't work, and your spirit and soul and everything inside you says you do want to change, you do want to improve this, and it feels like this isn't the life that you want to lead, now all of a sudden you're spilling into the middle, and it's like, I don't fucking know. And then who's leeching onto this whole middle crowd? The freedom gatherers, the new improved health coaches, and all the schools and certifications and licenses and degrees, and pumping out all these people with a new spin, with a new name for training, with a new name for rehab, with a new name for medicine. Again, if your medicine's named, it's not medicine. If your training is named, it's not training. If your rehab is named, it's not. If your nourishment has a name, it's not true. So I just want to cover that up, where both sides are actually true in what they're saying, but they're not true in how the body works or how any of this works. Where let's just stick with, taking back your body and putting it in this position to be able to express life, to be able to climb mountains, these analogies of mountains. You need to stimulate your body in training, which is moving toes to thumbs to a level greater than anything you're going to encounter. That's not always the militant, angry, double knee replaced fucking New York Times bestseller bullshit. The intention might be that to exceed that. That activity is not, and the result should not be double knee replacement, double hip replacement as some sort of a guide. But that intention needs to be there. So that's true, sure. And then you got this side over here, which is just like, I mean, God, it was everything for me to not get out of bed today, or to get out of bed today. Absolutely. We have to train just slightly above that. We have to prepare in ourselves just slightly above that. And those two things, do those messages seem freeing in any way? Do they seem sovereign? Do you feel more free when you hear those messages? No, you feel more confined to something that somebody's got that you don't. Or you feel victimized in all this stuff in the trauma fucking world that we all have to induce and be informed on all this shit. Like, that's not freeing. But the you taking back and you putting yourself in and you realizing that you need nothing outside yourself, that you have this, that you'll never stop healing. Healing doesn't get taken away from you. That everything you've got, you're feeling inside your body is just a guide. That fear, apprehension with movement, swelling, inflammation, pain, tightness, all these things are your body's way of getting your attention for you to change so you can exceed just above what those people are, just above what those people are, but in a sustainable manner all by yourself. So that if you do happen to slip and fall or succumb to something and you get an injury on any level of the path, you can stay in what is your training. You stay in it. Because training is training. Hey TJ, what kind of training do you do? Training. What kind of rehab do you do? Training. Like, it's all just one big thing, and it never stops. But these messages and the millions that are following these is so aggravating, because that's the brain untying, the brainwashing I have to go through in the first 20 to 30 minutes of every Zoom visit that I have to do. I have to get them to unlearn that story there and unlearn that story there, and realize that there are truths within those stories, but they're using them as a way of selling and grouping and comfort and security and you're not alone and all these things. Yeah, I get it, but that's the hardest part for me. So that's what fires me up the most, is because it's where I start step one, with people that I'm trying to guide to not need me ever, not need anybody really ever. And Cassie does the same with medicine, like deep medicinal labels on the grander scale of things, the big league shit that everyone else is outsourcing, referring out, and she's taking on, and has people healing. Same thing. So I just wanted to nip those two stories right there and do the best I can, because there's millions following these, and millions finding identification in both of these groups, and they're not sustainable. It is not true. It is not sovereign. It is not free. It is not natural. It is not holistic. It is not the body. It is not how it works. Can't sustain it. Can't keep it up. And that's upsetting when you think something's working, it doesn't, and then you're just like, what's wrong with me? And that has to stop, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with you. We just got to stop outsourcing to these people that keep getting in the way of the healing responses of the body, the true nature of what the body is and what it does. And both sides of that are not it. All right. Back to it. Have a great day.